Chances are really good that if you're watching this video, you've seen the body graph human design. You've seen this image somewhere. And if it's the first time seeing it, it's like, what the fuck is that? How is that supposed to help me with the shit going on in my life? And I'm about to tell you exactly how, with like very minimal training, to look at this thing called the body graph, look at human design, and immediately identify some things about yourself that may have been very abstract. So let's crack into it. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna completely ignore all of this, okay? Because that's a lot of numbers that you don't necessarily need to know right now, okay? We're gonna focus on these 9 centers and the coloredness of them and what they mean. Now, these are very important because this is what calculates which of these centers are colored in and which remain white, undefined, or open. So the first thing that we have to establish is the difference between a defined center, these colored in ones, and an undefined or open center, which is these white ones here. The defined centers are defined because they have these channels. They're connected to the other centers. And basically what it means is that they're speakers, okay? They're putting out your unique frequency constantly, consistently. The other side, we have the undefined centers. That's an open center because there's no gate activation in there. These undefined centers and open centers, they're like microphones. They're picking up information from the people around you, from the environment, and then they are then amplifying that. So you have the contrast of consistently amplifying and projecting your own experience and what's going on inside you. And then we have the absorbing information from the outside world and then projecting that. The defined centers are you. These are the things that you're going to be experiencing consistently. Now, for this person, they have the defined root, which means they're going to be experiencing their own pressure, their own stress. I have energy and pressure to do that thing. They have their spleen, which means they're going to be experiencing their own immune system, their own fears. They have the defined G center, which the G center is the center for love and direction. So they're going to be experiencing their own identity. Throat, they're going to be experiencing their own voice. Ajna, they're going to be experiencing their own thoughts. The thoughts never stop. That's how it is with these defined centers. Now, we each have a strategy with how to use these defined centers in a way that's going to work best for us. Here, this is the design of a projector. Okay? A projector, their strategy is to wait for an invitation. Their authority would be splenic, meaning that their health, their well-being, is very, very important for them to consider when responding to invitations. Now, with these open centers, what you have is empathy, okay? You have the sensitivity to the world around you. Specifically, the head right here, this is going to absorb inspiration from others, other people's problems. Pressure to think is going to come from other people. The energy to compete, the energy to build is also going to come from other people, as well as other people's emotions. So to do a quick little recap of this, the throat is the manifestation center. The 2 pressure systems that we have in human design are the head, which is pressure to think, and the root, which is pressure to do, adrenalized stress to do stuff. Then we have the awareness centers. Spleen is the awareness of the physical body and health. Ajna up here is conceptual awareness, cognitive awareness, intellect, etc. And then we have the solar plexus over here, which is emotional, spiritual, and relational awareness. Then we have the motor centers, which the root here is the motor of moving forward. The sacral is the energy to build, to be satisfied. It's your sexual, creative life force. The heart is the energy to prove one's self or to persevere when things get difficult. And the solar plexus over here is the energy to transmute emotion, to ride emotional waves and basically find meaning. Then we have the good old G center here, which is what holds everything together. This is where love and direction comes from. Now, your body graph is very likely going to look different from this person's, but we can look at their undefined centers and remember those problems I talked about? Let's talk about those problems. The undefined head typically will be thinking about problems that are completely unrelated, thinking about stuff that doesn't matter, trying to solve other people's problems. That's one of the, not self, one of the vices or the shadows of the undefined head. The not self of the sacral right here is not knowing when enough is enough. So if you don't know when enough is enough, that's probably because you have an undefined sacral. This right here, again, energy to prove itself with the undefined heart. You get caught up in trying to prove yourself. So you do stuff and you exert all this energy to prove yourself, but even if you get that that recognition or whatever it is that you were trying to prove yourself, it's not really going to feel as satisfying as you think it is. And then this open solar plexus over here, this one is going to just avoid conflict. So what I'm talking about here is not self behaviors. When you don't follow your strategy and authority, you're going to get not self behaviors, thinking about problems that are not yours, trying to prove yourself, not knowing when enough is enough, avoiding conflict and shit. So it's really important that you know your strategy, as well as what each of these centers is supposed to do in a healthy way and what it does as a response to not adhering to the internal circuitry that you naturally have. This is like a fish is going to have a hard time breathing outside of water because it's designed to be in the water. Feel me? Now, naturally, that's just the bare minimum of human design. That's like super surface level. If you want to go deeper with it, I have a bunch of videos here on TikTok that you can continue to watch. You can generate a body graph for free on my website. I have $20 reports that'll tell you pretty much everything you need to know regarding human design and your specific body graph available. I have reflections, which is just sessions with me where I kind of like walk you through the process. And I'm also really good at kind of like helping you identify where you're at, where you want to go, and what are the steps you have to take in between that. And then of course, there's my Discord community, which if you want to really dive into human design, but you don't want to do it alone, this is an online community. We already have over 1,500 members and it is popping off in there. I do a show there every day where I talk about the transits, which is like energetic weather. It's the reason you are the way that you are and the reason why certain times of the year you feel certain things. I do a daily show where I update people on that every day. So anyway, yeah. Click my face, link is in the bio, and I'll see you somewhere down the road. Peace.